Well, good morning.
Happy Friday.
Yes, it is a happy Friday.
It's been a while since I've been here.
I know, you've been quite busy lately.
Yeah.
I think things are getting back to normal, and I think everyone's getting quite busy. So
It's good. It's all positive.
We seem to be in the dark right now, but yes,
The
all
sun's
good.
coming.
Yes, the sun is coming out. The sun will come out tomorrow. I always remember that song. Just a good one to remember.
It
When
is.
all this kind of crud hits us in the face, it's like, remember, the sun will come out. So it's out.
Yeah.
So we had the torrential downpour yesterday. We watched the umbrella go in the pool,
Sanity.
and all this stuff happened. It was a hurricane in the middle of the day.
I didn't tell you over on 12th when I was leaving this morning to go to the gym. DeSantis' house, not the governor, but it's another DeSantis. There's like 15 palm fronds scattered throughout the
my.
road. Just blew their trees
my.
apart. But anyways,
It was like a little mini hurricane.
we digress. We're here on a
Yes.
Friday morning. You've been
Yes.
busy this week, haven't
This
you?
has been an awesome, busy week. But yes, it's been busy. And today's the last day of the Health Summit. And I've had the privilege of talking to 3 experts in the health industry. And they just were sharing their knowledge. And it's such a gift to be able to talk to them and just really hear what they're so passionate about. And every one of them said, and it was neat to hear, every single one of them said, I love to help people. I love to allow them to see, what they can be in life, how healthy they can be, and all this. So it was just fun to talk to each of them.
But let me ask you, tell me more about this health summit. Does everybody know what you did?
I have placed it on my Facebook page. I put it in Living AIP Paleo, the private community, the public community. I put it on Instagram. So people are jumping in. I did do it at 1 o'clock, so it's a little bit hard for people who work to jump in, but they can always catch the replay
Now,
if they register. They have to register to have that sent.
Okay, so now you did a health summit. You had different doctors on different categories, and I have the categories here. I want to ask you about those in a minute.
Okay.
So every day this past week at 1 o'clock, you did an hour Zoom, I think,
Right?
each day. And Monday you started it off. You did mindset You did mindset. You did not have anybody, but you were the specialist.
I was, and that's my favorite, because mindset is key. That is what controls us in life. If you take that word I am and you put something negative there, it takes you down a hole you shouldn't be going. But if you take the I am and switch it up and
Make it
allow
positive.
yourself to believe, and even if you're having trouble, figuring out what your I am is, go to the Word, go to God's Word, and see what He says you are. He's the one who created you. It's so simple, but I think so many people trip over it. So good morning, Heidi. Good morning, Dina. Nice to see both
Right.
of you.
And so going with the health summit and with the mindset that you were talking about, like this morning, we're joking around as I was getting ready to help you with this today. I made a comment to you about myself when I was getting ready,
Yeah.
and it's funny because I was actually just brushing my hair in a sense. But I actually run my fingers through my hair. I don't use brushes or combs.
Yes.
But
yes.
I said to her, she goes and commented how she likes my hair, how I style my hair. I said, well, it's easy when I'm this beautiful.
Yes.
And it's not being conceited. It's just putting positive affirmations in myself to believe that.
Right. Absolutely. And let me share too. We work at the coffee shop at church, and one of the older ladies, we have a lot of older ladies who come. What did she say? She's 84?
Yes.
And she's the cutest lady. I think she's 6 foot tall, but she's the cutest lady, stylish every week. And she just walked up to John and said, "You are the most handsome man." And she went on and on every week since then. She's been flirting with him, telling him how good looking he is. And it's the cutest thing. And she'll say, "Oh, you're so lucky," to me. But it's just sweet how she does that. So it's just, it's such wisdom from older people that you are what you think. You are what you believe. And so her saying that, it put a huge smile on your face. And I think that's something we all have to believe. We all have to know and understand that we are created in His image, beautiful, chosen, loved, worthy, all that. So that's why mindset, it is so, so important to me. And when I'm with people who I am this and they go down this negative route, it's like, stop that, pull back. And now you have to say, 20 things to nullify that negative. So
Okay.
I love mindset.
So you have an hour that's going to be online yet, or is it there yet?
You have to register, and then you get the private link.
And it's already there.
It's not there yet. No.
Okay. So this weekend, Ann will post. She's going to repost. Will post all the videos that she did over this past week. So
For the registered guests.
Yeah,
not,
for the
not
registered
public.
guests. Right.
Yes.
So then Tuesday you had, I believe, Dr. Carolyn George.
Yes. Functional medicine. And she works, and what functional medicine is getting to the root cause, not the name of a disease that you've been given. If you've been given depression, Hashimoto's, scleroderma, granuloma annulare, all these names aren't the important thing. What the important thing is the root cause of what is causing that. So she digs deep to go and figure out that root cause. And it's so interesting. Forget the name of what you've been going through. She talks to you and finds out the symptoms, how you feel, all that. Is your hair falling out? Are you feeling energetic? Are your cortisol? When I went to her, my cortisol, the arc went up. Instead of your cortisol should start way up here and dip down and then come up a little, but it should dip. There's a natural curve that you need to follow. When you do this, you're running all day on a treadmill and going nowhere.
Right, and that's part of that to help with the cortisol. I think what I've learned is to help kids have it low in the morning is to have your slower morning, and which then goes back to what you've always talked about is, getting in the Word, journaling, having peace and quiet for the first, part of your morning.
Right, so
that's part of helping with the functional medicine. They also go into a lot of gut discussion.
Gut is huge. If your gut's a mess, then it's generally the skin really shows the gut mess.
Right.
So that's what really woke me up. I was having problems with my skin, and that's what right away, leaky gut. So
no, and then Dr. George also, she went through a PowerPoint presentation. Is that going to be available, or just going to be a watch
the
on
whole
the videos?
PowerPoint. The PowerPoint is phenomenal because it shows here's your gut lining, and your gut lining is like this. But when you have leaky gut, it opens, and things, the food particles and all that go into the gut, and then, it's not supposed to. It's supposed to go through the stomach and I don't know all the right terms. She does. And it's in the PowerPoint, but it's supposed to stay in there. If we open it up, imagine if you had a crack in your basement or a crack in your roof and the water's coming through. It's not supposed to. So she teaches people how to seal that and seal your gut.
Was that her example? She used the leaky roof?
No, she did not.
That was pretty good, though. I like that.
Thank you. But I was looking at the house. That's what made me think of it. But
and the leak that I discovered yesterday.
Oh, great. During the torrential downpour.
Exactly. All right, so that was Dr. Carolyn George. Then on Wednesday, you had fitness with Dr. Maria Pontello.
Yes.
And actually, I just left her gym, and I'm here now. She is a doctor of physical therapy. She's a yoga instructor. She's a fitness instructor. And what did she have to share?
She really shared about just movement. So many times we think that exercise has to be going to the gym, beating ourselves up, being sore in the morning. And I talked to her a lot about people with autoimmune disease and how when you're in the throes of it, when you're in a flare, you can't do much. Your body just doesn't allow you to do it. It's like when you're sick. So she said, okay, what can you do? Can you get up and walk to the bathroom? Can you walk to the end of the block? She said any movement is good. And a lot of times when people have trouble sleeping, they don't realize their body's not moving. There's no reason for the body to feel it should sleep. So if you want to sleep better, move more. So she said, start slow. Walk to the end of the block, maybe in the morning and maybe at night. But stop feeling like you have to go to the gym and beat yourself up for hours.
Now, and I don't know if anybody touched on it, but is COVID-19 an autoimmune issue, or is it just more of a virus?
No one touched on it, no.
Okay.
And it's more of a virus. I think Meryl did yesterday. She touched on it a little bit, but she said she really doesn't want to.
You're jumping ahead.
I know, sorry.
Okay. But let me. Let's go back. So movement. What I'm talking about, particularly with COVID, we've learned and we've listened, and there's it's been documented movement during COVID. If you come down with that virus, you need to keep moving. You can't just lay in bed because it's going to affect your lungs more. It's going to affect your body.
It
just sits and lingers. So if you know anybody that has it, plead with them and help them. Just move. Walk, like you're saying, walk to the mailbox. Walk down the street. just keep moving every couple hours, because laying there is not going to help.
Especially laying flat. That's what they say. You got to move because it sits there, and it's like I always say the stagnant river. It just sits there. But if you keep moving, you got to break it up in that. And I remember when my grandmother had was it congestive heart failure? When the liquid just kept forming in there, they would hit her chest. Not hard,
Right.
but they would,
Yep.
to get it moving, they would be hitting it. Yeah. So I think that's so important to keep it moving. Keep yourself moving.
Yeah, so that was Wednesday with Dr. Maria.
Mm-hmm.
And then was there anything else? Did you even get a workout at that day? Or were you just...
No, but she talked, and this is so important. Breathing is so important. And she gave the explanation, hand on chest, hand on stomach, and how you breathe through your stomach, your chest. It's like a two-part. And if you watch that video, you'll see how she does it. But the act of breathing is so natural to us. We don't often think about how important it is. Getting that deep breath, getting that oxygen in our lungs. And if you've ever watched yourself breathe and how shallow it is, they often say that the length of breath is the length of life, and it's so true that we need to learn how to breathe better. And she goes into that.
And I know as a high school athlete, I would always thinking, do this chest breathing, fill your lungs up. But what I've learned over the years is breathing through your gut is actually exercising your diaphragm, which is then helping your lungs expand and contract as you get older.
Sit up,
It
yes.
does. That's why you want to sit up straight, because as you move your stomach and breathe through your stomach more, you're exercising your diaphragm and you're working your diaphragm out, and that's going to help your lungs breathe more.
Right.
And that's what happens with older people when they're sedentary. They're just breathing through their chest, and they have that shallow breathing.
Very shallow, yeah. And good morning, Anthony, and good morning, Angie. Nice to see you
Good
both.
morning. We got all these A's coming in.
Yeah.
Yay. It's an A list today.
Yes.
And okay, so then yesterday you had an hour-long discussion with Dr. Merrill.
No, she's not a doctor. She's a registered dietitian and then also a holistic nutritionist, which that gives a whole new flair on
But
things.
can you pronounce your last name?
Brandwine. There's no D. I always want to put a D in there. Brandwine. And that the link to all of these people are on my site. But she was phenomenal in that she shared. She went through cancer in her 30s with, I think she has 3 or 4 little ones. And she went through the traditional treatment, to kill off the cancer. But then her mother-in-law sent her to Mexico to learn more about how to really take care of herself. She was a registered dietitian, so she went the traditional route, thinking that was great. But then once she got to the treatment facility, which was natural, holistic ways of going about it, she said her mind was absolutely blown on how to take care of herself. She said one morning she was hoping for a coffee, and they walked in with a coffee enema bag, and she's like, what do I do with that? That's going through the wrong end. It was just cute the way she described it. But they taught her how to go to the root cause and stop naming, okay, she had cancer, She said, stop labeling things and allow yourself to get to the root cause. You have skin rashes. Okay, that leads to the gut. Depression. She went on, and a couple of the girls had questions, and she said, starts with the gut. Always start with the gut. Heal the gut, and then so many things will fall into place. And I was mesmerized by it. Her story is phenomenal on how she healed herself. And she has an entire practice now with not only her, but with dietitians under her, acupuncturists, masseuse. I'm trying to think what else is in there. But it's a huge practice now. She started with her, but because of her story, she's been able to really reach out.
All right.
So, phenomenal.
She is.
Yes, so.
Oh, everybody that you had is phenomenal. And then today is the crescendo of it all.
Yes.
And what are you going to be, who are you interviewing, or what are you doing today?
Today is batch cook. It's BATCH. So you're batch cooking meals. And I'm shooting for 6 full meals to teach you how to cook. And then snacks, desserts, and sides. That is going to be, and if you've ever seen the Muppets on TV where the little guy is, and I can't remember, it's a little chef and he's throwing all this food. That's kind of what I feel like I'm going to be doing, because it's going to be fast, but it's going to show you how to cook all these different meals in this short period of time. and then freeze them. As long as you don't have the frozen meat you're coming home with. If you have the fresh meat, prepare it, then you can throw it in the freezer until you're ready to use it.
Interesting. So are you going to freeze it all after you're done batch cooking today?
Not all of it, because I know someone's going to come home hungry.
I got
So,
some
yeah.
good meals coming this
Yeah,
weekend.
so
Yay.
our kitchen is in full bloom here. We are ready to go, so that should be fun.
Yeah, so you're going to be doing it now. Maybe Matthew, our son's going to help, or who's?
I'm hoping,
All right.
because food's going to be flying.
So now, are you going to just be cooking vegetarian meals? Or are you cooking
Oh no,
with meat?
I should have said that, thank you. All autoimmune dishes, meaning there's nothing inflammatory, no inflammatory ingredients. And a lot of people ask what that means. Pepper, eggplant, cayenne pepper, all these things that can cause inflammation in your body. If you have, let's say, a knee pain, an elbow pain, and there isn't a problem there, but instead you just keep getting inflammation, or maybe you eat dairy and your gut swells up, your body's telling you something. And I always say that the body is an amazing healing machine, and if you allow yourself to really start to listen to it and hear what it's telling you, then you can start to heal. So we take out, with AIP, we take out autoimmune paleo or autoimmune protocol, and I use paleo as well. You take out all those inflammatory foods, you're allowing your body to heal. And then you bring back in food slowly, like nuts, for instance. You can bring in dairy, but that's very inflammatory. You can slowly bring these things back in, and as you do, you can see exactly what's bothering you. And you only bring one in at a time.
Because then you can really measure it to see if that affects your body or not. And I think one of the things that we've eliminated from our diet quite regularly, you do all the time, most of the time, would be tomatoes.
Yes, tomatoes. Yes, and tomatoes.
Which is sad, because then you want your pasta.
Yes, tomatoes are a great thing for some, but for it is a nightshade, and it can cause a lot of inflammation. And I used to have rosacea, and it would really spark it up. Another friend of mine, I said, just cut out tomatoes and see for a while what that does. She has totally cleared up. So you have to find your trigger. And yes, I miss my tomatoes, but I'd rather have nice skin rather than the tomato.
Right, and I'd rather not feel bloated.
Right. So yeah, tomatoes aren't a bad thing, but maybe they're just not for you.
Right, and I don't know if you're going to be doing this today or not, but you do have other ideas. Instead of having pasta or gluten-free pasta, there's natural whole food type of meals, food that you can have as pasta as well. So tune into that. Hopefully you'll touch on that a little bit.
Yes, and we'll go through different noodles and that.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah,
Good
it's exciting. It's been a very fun week, very tiring week, because it's so much information, but it's so fun. I love learning, so it's so fun. And then to be able to not only learn, but then to share it out, what a blessing that is.
Right.
And that's one of our jobs. When we learn, we are asked to share it out. We're asked to share what's going on, how we are stepping up in different areas. So.
That's true. And as you learn how to cook and eat at home, if you want to do this and have reduce your inflammation and have just feeling better and healthier, when you go out to restaurants, you learn what you can order on the menu or what you don't order on the menu, because then it's going to help you out, because it's not limiting you to anything. It's just going to make some different food choices.
Well, it's funny you say that, because so many people feel bad asking for something special. They feel bad about it. Oh, I don't want to be an inconvenience. But you need to take care of you first, because if you don't take care of you, you can't take care of anyone else.
You're paying for it. Get what you want.
And there's a scene in Harry Met Sally where Sally goes to the restaurant and she orders, and it's so particular what she needs, what she doesn't need.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the other scene.
Oh, okay. No, but that scene it's just funny, because she knew exactly what she needed, what she wanted. So figure out what you need. And we often eat at Seasons 52, and they are so they're so willing to help. I can't have pepper, so I have that. I can have pepper, I should say. But does it like me? No. It swells up my joints, and it does with a lot of people. So keep an eye on pepper. The other thing is, the nightshades in that, and figure out what bothers you, and don't feel bad about it. Generally, the chefs are very happy to help.
Right. All right, so you said a lot of different things. You said a lot of different catchphrases that we know because we live it. AIP, autoimmune, nightshades, all this stuff is discussed. If you
Right.
guys register on Ann's other site, the AIP Paleo.
Well, AnnCarey.com. You can
AnnCarey.com.
go and register for the summit. Even though it's passed, you will be put on the list to allow yourself to get all the
Right.
videos.
Angie has a question.
Black pepper or bell pepper? Both. Peppers in general.
Sad.
Sad, yeah. But only for, like, I'm doing a program 28 days, AIP 28X, and I'm teaching people how to take it out for 28 days and then slowly bring it back in. So if peppers are your thing, after the 28 days, then bring one in and see how you feel. But only bring that in and wait a few days, see how you feel.
Right. And not only is it physically affecting your body and some of the things we eat and don't eat, it also affects you mentally.
Oh, brain fog is huge, huge, huge. Decision making, that's a really important thing. Or, I mean, it affects everything. If your body doesn't like it, like spinach, I love to eat spinach, can't do it. Hives and because of the histamine level in it. You just have to figure out what is working for you and what is not. Deep greens I have a problem with because of the histamines. Shrimp, forget it. Give me shrimp, I'm sleeping the next day because of the histamine levels. So, and that is a process of learning, I mean, and practicing it and writing down and journaling. Journaling is the key. What I ate today, how I felt. Oh, how did I feel the next day?
And now, would it be, if you eat, let's say we learned about shrimp, it took us a little bit, but we figured
That's
it out.
And Meryl helped me with that
Right.
one.
But is it usually a 24 to 48 hours after you introduce a new food that you would journal to see if it affected you, or is it 72 hours?
I think, I don't want to be quoted on this, but I'm pretty sure it's up to 3 days, and sometimes it can be a week. But like for me, I can tell the next day. If I have peppers in my food, my hands swell. If I have shrimp, the next day I'm sleeping.
Right.
So just tune into your body. It will tell you what you should have and what you shouldn't. And if you're feeling bloated, write down everything you had that day before. I mean, it's right. The answers are there. You just have to realize. And then keep that journal and keep checking back. Like I did. It's funny because that movie, Beautiful Mind, how he's got the strings attached to everything. That's what I started to do. Okay, this day I had this is how I felt. This day I had this, and I could pinpoint exactly what was bothering me and why it was bothering me. And then it was like, okay, we got the answer.
Okay.
But here's the other thing. There's tests that you can take. There's a Cyrex test, CYREX, or an MRT test. Those two tests will tell you what foods are in your red zone, which is obviously stop, your yellow zone, which is kind of pull back from them if you can, stay away for a good month or so, and then your green foods, which are, okay, your body likes these foods.
Right. And those tests you can get, can you go to any lab and request it?
I don't know if you can go to any lab,
Or
but you could call Meryl or Dr. George.
Yeah, either one, both of them run those tests. All right, well, again, you have taught yourself and done all this research and met all these doctors and worked with them and these nutritionists. You don't have the letters after your name to say that you're a specialist, but to me, you are a specialist because you've done so much research.
I have a degree from the Google University.
Yes, you do.
And oftentimes...
And you don't just you don't just read one story if there's something
Right,
there. You're going
right.
to try to find something to contradict it or something to support it.
Right.
So that's where you don't... You can definitely go to the doctors, because they're going to give you, their professional opinion. They've gone to school, they know this stuff. Ann has done her own research. As much as you want to follow her, still see a doctor,
Absolutely. Well,
and she can help you with that.
Right, and know that a doctor generally only has 6 hours of nutritional education during their
normal MD day.
Yes, during their entire study. I mean, 6 hours, which is nothing. So go to a functional doctor. Go to holistic. A lot of people are finding great success with Chinese medicine, which is phenomenal. Back to the basics, back to the root cause in life. So.
Eat the whole foods that are coming out of the garden and coming out of the fields, not the processed foods.
One ingredient foods. I always say eat one ingredient foods, and people are like, what does that mean? An apple. What do I have?
It's a little white thing on your lip.
Thank you. So, yes, if you are ready to run with this, I'm going to be starting a course, AIP 28X, which is 28 days. We're going to have a week in front of it, which is preparing your house, removing the things that could be a potential, deterrent or something. Oh my gosh, I need a treat, and grab it. We're just putting them in a bin and putting them in the garage, or putting them at your mother-in-law's, whatever it is. And then for 28 days, we're following this plan. Then at the end, we're taking off the training wheels, and you're going on your own. So, but we're going to do it as a group. So if you're interested in that, let me know.
So the group will help because it's a support group as well.
It's a support group, which community is huge. That's the difference, community.
Right. All right.
So it's been fun. Thanks for the interview.
I enjoyed it. It's always fun to listen to you talk about it.
Yes, it lights me up. So thanks, Heidi. I see you. Yay, Heidi's in already. So it's going to be fun to run with a bunch of people who really want to dive into health and dive into mindset and nutrition and all the good things, and then we can batch cook together.
Yeah, and I can eat.
Yes. So have an
Not
amazing
that I don't
day.
eat.
Yeah, have an amazing day, and let us know if you're ready to join and see all the videos and that. If you want to link in and watch them each day. Again, they're an hour long. It was the entire week. Today being the last day, but rock your day today. Have a good one. Oh,
remember, wish your mother a happy Mother's Day on Sunday.
That's a tongue twister.
And happy Mother's Day to you.
Thank you, love. Thank you. So have a good one.